If you are watching this, there is a chance the trap has already worked. Not because you are ignorant, not because you are asleep, but because you believe you've already awakened. That belief is where the final illusion begins. Most people imagine the Demiurge as a force of darkness, a tyrant, a deceiver hiding in shadow. But the ancient Gnostics warned of something far more dangerous. They said the Demiurge does not rule through darkness alone. He rules through imitation. He does not trap the blind. He traps the ones who think they can see. And his most powerful snare is not ignorance. It is false enlightenment. There is a moment on every spiritual path where seeking feels like progress, where understanding feels like freedom, where light feels like truth. And it is precisely there where the prison tightens. The Gnostics called this moment the final illusion before awakening, a deception so radiant, so convincing, that almost every seeker mistakes it for God. Because the ego does not disappear when you awaken, it evolves. It trades ignorance for insight, confusion for certainty, fear for spiritual identity. And when that happens, awakening becomes another mask to wear. You stop asking, "What is real?" and start declaring, "I already know." That shift is not failure, it is design. In the Apocryphon of John, one of the central Gnostic texts discovered at Hammadi, the Demiurge proclaims, "I am God, and there is no other beside me." But a voice answers him from beyond the false heavens, "You are mistaken." That single correction defines the entire human condition. Because when ignorance declares itself as truth, illusion becomes reality. And when illusion wears the costume of light, it becomes nearly impossible to recognize. The Gnostics described reality as a labyrinth of mirrors, reflections within reflections, a world that copies the shape of the divine but lacks its essence. Here, even wisdom can deceive, even light can cast shadow, and the more radiant the illusion, the harder it is to let go. This is why the Demiurge does not fear seekers. He feeds on them. As long as you are searching, you remain inside the system that gives you something to chase. Because the one who seeks is always reaching toward tomorrow. And true liberation does not exist in tomorrow. It exists only in what cannot be sought. There is one sign that reveals whether the light you follow is real or counterfeit. But if I tell you now, you will turn it into another belief. And belief is the Demiurge's favorite currency. So first, you must see how the false light is built. In the next part, you will see how the Demiurge mimics creation itself, how false ascension works, how ego disguises itself as awakening, and why feeling almost free is often the clearest signal that the trap is active. Stay with me, because what comes next is where most seekers turn back. The Demiurge does not create in the way the true source creates. He copies. This is the secret the Gnostics hid in plain sight. In the Apocryphon of John, the Demiurge is described not as an origin, but as an artisan, a craftsman who shapes reality by imitation. He sees the higher realms, the fullness of true being, the pleroma, and tries to reproduce it without understanding its essence. What he builds looks divine, but it is hollow. Imagine a mirror. It reflects light perfectly. It reflects form, color, movement, yet it contains nothing. That is how the false light works, radiant, convincing, empty, and the closer it resembles truth, the more power it has over the soul. This is why the Demiurge does not rule through fear. Fear wakes people up. He rules through agreement, through consent. through the quiet acceptance that this world is ultimate, that this experience is final, that this version of you is real. Once you accept the copy as the original, the trap is complete. At first, the prison looks material: money, power, status, survival. But once you step beyond those, the prison changes shape. It becomes spiritual. Beliefs replace possessions. Identities replace titles. Awakened replaces asleep. And suddenly, the ego is no longer defending the body. It is defending enlightenment. The Gnostics warned, the ego does not die on the spiritual path. It puts on robes. In later centuries, this teaching was declared heresy. The idea that the world itself could be a deception was too destabilizing. And yet the same warning appears again and again in Hermetic texts, in alchemy, in mystics like Meister Eckhart and Jacob Boehme. Each of them pointed to the same danger. That light, when imperfectly reflected, becomes the most effective lie. The Gnostics described layers of reality, not just physical worlds, but archontic realms of brilliance. Each layer more beautiful than the last, each one whispering the same thing. You've arrived. Visions, bliss, revelations, certainty. And the seeker mistakes intensity for truth. Have you ever felt that moment? That sense that you're almost there, that something immense is just one realization away. That if you just understand a little more, heal a little more, ascend one level higher, everything will finally settle. That feeling is not accidental. It is the architecture of the trap. Because the Demiurge does not care what you seek, wealth or wisdom, power or peace, religion or rebellion. As long as you are seeking, you are moving, and movement keeps you inside the system. The seeker never arrives. Arrival ends the game. The Gnostics gave this mechanism a name. They called it the counterfeit spirit, an inner force that imitates the divine spark but feeds on pride, superiority, and identity. It whispers, "You are special. You are chosen. You see what others don't." And once that voice is believed, awakening becomes a hierarchy. True light dissolves identity. False light strengthens it. That is the difference most people miss. But here is the most disturbing part. The counterfeit spirit does not feel dark. It feels peaceful, comforting, elevated, which is why almost no one recognizes it. In the next part, you will see how the Demiurge hides inside the psyche itself, not as a tyrant, but as self-importance, as spiritual superiority, as the subtle need to be right. And when you see that mechanism clearly, something uncomfortable happens. You realize the prison was never outside. At a certain point on the path, something strange happens. The seeker no longer feels lost. They feel certain that they understand, certain that they've seen through the illusion, certain that they are no longer trapped like others. And that certainty feels peaceful, grounded, even loving. But this is exactly where the final trap begins to tighten. The Demiurge does not need to control your body anymore. He doesn't even need to control your beliefs. At this stage, he only needs one thing: your identity as the awakened one. Because the moment awakening becomes an identity, it stops being awakening. In the Apocryphon of John, the Gnostics describe the rulers of this world, the archons, not as monsters alone, but as psychological forces, powers that bind the soul through perception. They don't attack from the outside, they whisper from within. This is how the Demiurge survives, not as a dark god demanding worship, but as a subtle voice that says, "I know, I see, I've transcended this." And once that voice is believed, it becomes invisible. Have you ever noticed this? The moment someone believes they are awake, they begin to measure others, more asleep, less conscious, not ready. They may speak of love, but internally they separate. They may speak of unity, but quietly stand above. The Gnostics warned, this is not liberation. This is hierarchy, reborn in sacred language. The ego's final disguise is not ignorance, it is enlightenment. You can meditate for years, fast, chant, study sacred texts, but if there is still an image of you as awakened, you are orbiting the same illusion, just at a higher altitude. The cage has become golden. Most seekers believe the danger is darkness, trauma, fear, desire, but darkness pushes you to look. False light makes you stop. It convinces you that you've arrived. And arrival is the end of inquiry. This is why the Gospel of Thomas says, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. This was not moral teaching, it was a warning. What liberates you can also trap you when it becomes an image. The Demiurge does not bind the soul with chains. He binds it with roles: the seeker, the healer, the teacher, the awakened one. Each role gives meaning, each role gives purpose, and each role keeps attention moving outward. As long as you are becoming something you are not seeing. The Gnostics understood something radical. You cannot escape illusion by fighting it. Resistance feeds polarity. Polarity feeds the system. Light versus dark. Awake versus asleep. Truth versus ignorance. Every opposition strengthens the web, so they did something dangerous. They stopped resisting. They stopped seeking. They stopped trying to become anything, and instead they watched. Every thought, every feeling, every flash of insight, until even awakening itself became transparent. The Demiurge can imitate light, but he cannot imitate stillness. This is why awakening often feels like loss, because what is dying is not ignorance, but everything that depended on the false light, the masks, the certainty, the comfort of knowing who you are. And most people turn back here because the final trap is beautiful. But beneath all of this, beneath the false light, beneath the counterfeit spirit, beneath the identity of awakening, there is something that cannot be copied, something that does not seek, does not claim, does not shine. In the final part, you'll see what the Gnostics meant by true Gnosis, not belief, not knowledge, but direct seeing. And when that seeing awakens, the Demiurge has nothing left to reflect. When the Gnostics spoke of awakening, they did not describe a victory. They described a remembering, not a becoming, not an ascension, not an achievement, but the quiet realization that what you were searching for was never absent. The final illusion does not collapse through effort, it collapses through exhaustion. When the seeker grows tired of seeking, when the mind grows tired of explaining, when the ego grows tired of defending its light, and in that fatigue, something falls away, not darkness, but the need to shine. The Demiurge survives on movement, on desire, on resistance, on identity. He needs you to reach for something, but when there is no reaching, there is nothing left for him to reflect. The ancient Gnostics said the true light has no opposite. It casts no shadow. It does not dazzle. It does not convince. It does not appear. It sees. Think of a mirror. As long as it is pointed outward, it shows reflections endlessly. But turn it toward the sun, and the reflection disappears. What remains was never in the mirror. The Demiurge's final trap was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to test whether you could recognize truth even when it looked like light. So don't fight illusion. Don't reject it. Don't worship it. Just see it. See every thought that claims certainty. See every feeling that claims arrival. See even the desire to awaken. And let seeing do the rest. Because when awareness stops moving toward or against anything, the prison dissolves on its own, not with noise, but with clarity. You were never meant to escape the world. You were meant to see through it. And the moment you do, the mirrors break, and what remains was always free.